What's going on, babe?
Hey, babe, how was your day?
It was actually pretty productive. Happy to be home.
Good. You know, we got a game today. Honey, you're a little rough around the edges.
I mean, I'm saying I've been working all night, taking care of business, getting to the... You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I got you. I'm not trying to be out here looking like a dusty, and that's why I'm excited to have T. Chanley as a sponsor of today's video. They help me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which come with all of the basics: a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My favorite part about T. Chanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. In addition to amazing skin, members of T. Chanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price and the ability to customize your box. And because T. Chanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description. You'll get 30% off your first box plus a free gift. Click the link and get started today. We're taking care of ourselves. Self-care, fellas, is the first step to be able to get to that bag, to take care of business, and be on top of things and level up in every aspect of your life. Feel the Teej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate y'all for continuing to rock with me. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting day today, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me give a shout out to my homie, my dog, Randy. What's up, Randy? Randy, what is happening? Randy, are you telling me that you are not going to be in Vegas? I'm curious. Randy, are you telling me you're not going to be in Vegas? I am very, very disappointed. Now, I get it. I understand, Randy. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, love. It is going to be a very, very interesting day, right? We've been cooking all week. It's KS week. And so I definitely want to make sure that, I'm cooking my burgers well done this week. I'm having my steaks well done this week. Real talk. We're not gonna mince words. We're not gonna continue to censor ourselves. Randy, it's okay, love, because Randy, you're doing the work in the Patreon, and you know I absolutely love you. But we're not gonna censor ourselves this week or at any time going forward, right? I'm always going to lean into the thing that is best for us, but the thing that we're not going to do is that we're not going to simp out, similar to my favorite person who I've largely just like completely ignored, partially because their content is so fucking boring, right? But I've largely ignored Boyce Watkins. I mean, he's really flown out of the radar. I'm sure that he's living his best simp life and all that other type of stuff, but we're going to get into that. We're definitely going to dive into Mr. Watkins as far as what he stands on, how it is that he moves. And you know, the thing that I've always said about people, and one of the reasons why it's so important for me to tackle a lot of these men, because we hear women's voices, but men are the state of the community. And the reason why it's so important for men to deal with men is for 2 reasons. A, men are the state of the community. So if you have very, very strong men that stand on principles, good character, and they move a specific way, then you'll have a strong community, A. And B, I want to be the example of how women are supposed to move when it comes to holding their own accountable, right? The thing that I don't see often at times is that women don't always hold women accountable. They don't. Women don't always hold women accountable. And so I'm giving you the blueprint and I'm giving you the example of how it is that you're supposed to move, right? So that you can then use this as an example when you dealing with your own, right? And shout out to Ryan C. We appreciate all super chats. We appreciate all support for the channel, cash apps, PayPal, all of that, right? It says big time stay on their head. Cooked well done is what we're on now. No tolerance for the. We're not dealing with nonsense anymore. So I'm gonna take my time today, right? Because I haven't necessarily uh, had a conversation with Boyce. Did you guys know? Let me tell you how much of a sucker this dude is, right? Boyce is such a sucker that I invited Boyce personally in previous live streams. Obviously, not today. I have no interest in dealing with somebody who is, in my personal opinion, the simp of all simps. But I actually invited Boyce to a money fight. Did you guys know that? And then you know what Boyce did, right? Instead of either A, ignoring it, because this is the way you address it. Instead of either A, ignoring it, or B, addressing it directly, he did an indirect shot and said, well, some things aren't even worth having a conversation about. But you feel compelled. You feel compelled to have conversations about a man after his passing, and that's what they do. That's what people that are jealous and they are undercover haters, they try to disguise it in the form of having objective conversation, which is absolute bullshit, right? Men address things directly or they completely let it go and they just keep it moving, right? But it's absolute BS because they either say things when it don't matter no more. So when Kev was here, and contrary to popular belief, Kev actually had positive things to say about Boyce, but Boyce, in an effort to try to, I don't know, I'm gonna guess, appease his significant other, and I'm gonna leave his wife out of it. His wife has nothing to do with this conversation. This has everything to do with him. I don't deal with kids. I don't deal with wives. I don't deal with any of that. Now, there may be a little bit of spillover in order to illustrate his behavior specifically, but I don't care. I don't even know who his wife's name is. I don't care. It has no relevance. I wish her the best. Congratulations on being hypergamous and getting the best simp available. It's the only thing I'm going to say to her. Congratulations. You are a very smart woman. Very smart woman, okay? But aside from that, and let me go ahead and get to this other super chat. Shout out to Kev. He says, people are so angry with KS as if this man was in the Klan. This is stunning. I agree. I agree. But again, this is the type of man, and I want to bring this to the forefront because I feel like there's very few people that have seen as much as I've seen as far as dealing with the different types of people. I mean, from networking, being out in the streets every single day. We out here in Vegas having a good time. We chilling. We doing the work. And I've seen so many different types of people from being raised in a hood all the way up until the upper levels of corporate America, right? And I'm able to mine through the same way that I was able to give you perspective yesterday on Jamal Bryant and how people pulpit pimping, how they pulpit pimp your wives, your sisters, and your mothers, right? And play off their emotions in order to try to make them feel better instead of giving them the results that's going to make things better. Similarly, I'm going to give you the blueprint behind people like Boyce Watkins, right? Because contrary to popular belief and contrary to the image that he tries to present to you, this person is very much a reflection of A, undercover jealousy, and B, an undercover hater. Now, you can't tell me that he does it for his wife, and we're going to go through the videos, trust me. But I'm setting the foundation. You can't tell me that this type of guy is only doing it for his chick. Because who you inherently are is in you prior to you ever actually letting it out. It's almost like trolls or people on the internet, right? And what happens is I think that the internet is more real than real life because in real life, people are reluctant to say what they really think But when you leave and they get online, they tell you exactly what they really feel in their heart. So the fact that we can get Boyce behind the computer and turn on his webcam, similar to how I'm talking to you right now, and in Kev's passing, he feels comfortable enough to be able to have these candid conversations with no filter. And then he passively aggressively tries to do the same thing that Lisa Ray and Selena Johnson and not Vivica Fox, she just straight up for the streets, but he tries to do the same thing as all the rest of these people. It's unfortunate. And it's unfortunate that we got to have this conversation today again, because I remember previously on a live stream and multiple videos, I said, yo, listen, you want to debate with this person. And I remember he got into it with Kwame Brown and all of that. And I said, yo, why deal with them? And they not even up your alley. You want to debate with people based off of money? We can money fight. I have no problem about that, right? You're a doctor. You're older than I am specifically. You're more accomplished. You're a more famous and a great speaker. So I'm curious as to how that translates financially into your net worth and what your portfolio truly looks like. I say, yo, we can show our portfolio, which I've already shown mine. We can show what we generate from a banking account perspective. I've already shown mine. We can show what we make on our W-2s and different income. I've shared that. Let's talk money. Let's have a money fight. Let's play big bank, take little bank. Let's put up 100,000 of our own money. Let's put up 100,000 of our own money, and then whoever wins, we can donate it to the charity of the other person's choice. That sounds like a good cause to me. If you really care about the black community, I align with myself with people based off of the content of their character. You align yourself with people based off of how black they are. Then we can pick a charity, right? Put up 100,000 of our own money. Have a money fight, show people what wealth really looks like if you got it like that, right? Because I don't take advice from people that ain't really live it. That's like me taking marriage advice from somebody that ain't been successfully married like I have for the last 18 years and I'm only 40 years old. Let's do a money fight. 100,000, big bank take little bank, and we donate it to the charity of whoever wins choice. I don't see no problem with that. Right? If you really for the black community, then put your money up. And my wife don't work and your wife do work. Right? That means it's like 2 against 1. They say 2 horses can pull 10 times their weight though. But guess what he did? Guess what he did? Some debates or some conversations ain't even worth having. Fair enough, because you can't force anybody to actually have a debate or talk money talk or start to deep dive. Listen, I'm a C student. What would a C student, I shouldn't even be able to be in the same room or hold the same jock strap as a dude that got a PhD. That's an esteemed financial analyst or whatever the piss y'all want to call him. Listen. At the end of the day, I'm setting the precedent behind how I view Boyce Watkins, okay? Before we start to really deep dive into this thing, right? I said, let's money fight, right? No street violence, no heat, no threats, no none of that. I ain't got no smoke for his wife, none of that. I said, congratulations, love. But what did he do? Ducked and dodged, and now he throwing pot shots at dead men. Okay, cool. Well, let me break him down for y'all. But before I do so, let me go ahead and get a little bit of the housekeeping out of the way. Shout out to T. Henley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Uncomplicated skincare for men. They really, really got Anton glowing out here in Vegas, yo. Honestly. I always stay smooth. I always stay right. That link is in the description. Make sure you tap in with T. Hanley. You seen the commercial at the beginning of the live stream. Rock out. I love you, T. Hanley, for always holding me down. In addition to that, shout out to the Bag Chasers. We are doing a Patreon exclusive meetup tomorrow, May 14th. I'm about to literally, after I get off of this live stream, I scouted a couple of locations yesterday. I'm scouting a couple more locations because I'm trying to figure out if I want to do it on the strip, off the strip, downtown in Fremont, that area, Container Park. I don't know. So, I want to create the best environment for us to be able to vibe, have good times, have a lot of conversations, and party and get it in tomorrow night. So I am going to be updating. I'm going to be updating the Patreon tonight with the official location of the Patreon meetup for all of you that are in Vegas and rocking with me. I know some of y'all hit me up and like, yo, let's get dinner, whatever. Yo, I'm going to try to link up with y'all before or prior, but it's one of the reasons why I do the Patreon meetup, because I designate a portion of my time to be able to tap in with y'all, and I fly to a different city every month, right? So shout out to everybody that's in Vegas. I love my Patreon members, my bag chasers. And then we got a Patreon exclusive video dropping this weekend, probably on Sunday, after we do the meetup. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. If y'all want to join the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And let me move this over here. I'll reserve that space on that other side for Boyce. On the top of the chat, if you need a personal session with me, you can tap in with me. Go to AntonDaniels.com, hit the email link, and then it's going to launch an email client for you to be able to send me a message. And then we're going to get you booked up with a session. But in addition to that, you can also email me at AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. And then I'm going to get you scheduled. And then last but not least, follow me on all the other social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You know what it is. Twitter. We're going to get it in. All right. So let me get to a couple of these super chats now that I got that out of the way. Expose him already. He ain't got it, big homie. Shout out to Michael Watts. My dog Aaron says, you could have won big money if you would have taken up my bet. The Bulls didn't get to the Eastern Bro, you already knew that. I told you what was going to happen with the Bulls. I already told you that. But let's get into Boyce. They say, what city you hitting next, Anton? That's based off of the Patreon members. I'm going to announce that. I already got a city in mind, but I'm going to announce the next city for June after I do the Patreon exclusive meetup tomorrow. So shout out to Jay Favors. I appreciate you, fam, bro. But I think I'm going to do it somewhere on the strip. I think I'm going to do it at one of the big casinos on the strip. Just pick a bar, rock out. We're going to kick it. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to have great conversation. So I'm thinking about that. Let me think about that for a minute, because I know Vegas going to be jumping tomorrow, and we're going to figure it out. So without further ado, my man Boyce. My man Boyce. Shout out. I don't necessarily call him Boyce. I know he's a doctor. I know he's a PhD, right? That's what he says. He's an accomplished author. I'm going to get the good stuff out of the way. Because I want to be objective in this, right? I know he's an accomplished author. He is a PhD. I know that he's taught, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? I might get some stats wrong because I don't know his career extensively, but I know he's taught at major universities. And more importantly, I know he's a simp. Let me say that again. I know he's an accomplished author. He's taught at major universities. Let me throw one more thing in there. I know he capitalizes off of the black community with empty rhetoric that does not necessarily propel us to be any better than we already are. He doesn't give you any kind of tangible examples or steps as to how you can become more successful. He just spouts out empty stock tips that don't really mean anything. I know that when he talks money, he's incredibly boring. He reminds me of preachers. He just doesn't have the cachet or the ability to and ha when he talks, because he gives you a lot of empty rhetoric that does not necessarily propel you to be successful. But he's a good talking point, right? He's been on TV. He's capitalized off of Black Lives Matter and the black community and the rah, 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 and I'm the blackity blacks and all of that, right? It's all empty rhetoric. It doesn't mean anything, but he'll spout out and he'll say things like, yeah, but I'm a mathematician and I'm a chess player and all of that or whatever. Come on, fam. Stop it. Shout out to Landon. I appreciate you, Landon. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. So let's deep dive, because I know that there may be some heavy Boyce supporters just because you're black, right? You're black. So we always got to make sure that we support black men. Then why don't Boyce support black men before and after their passing? Don't sit here and say, Anton, Why you got something to say about Boyce? Well, why does Boyce have something to say about men that can't defend themselves? But he had nothing to say when they was alive. So I'm very much alive. I'm looking in this camera right now. I'm having a conversation. I'm sure. I'm sure he has nothing to do this morning at all. I'm sure. I'm sure that at some point somebody's going to send this to him or tag him in it on an Instagram post or something like that. But more importantly, I'm alive and I'm well and I'm breathing, and so I'm going to say it directly to him since he doesn't want to respond, or he limits the comments, or he might have blocked me on Instagram. I don't know. I've never seen his Instagram after that day because he didn't mean anything to me. But shout out to Moise. Shout out to Boyce Watkins. I appreciate you, big dog, for watching this stream and understanding why you are a simp, sir. But I got him beat in a few categories. I got a higher net worth than him, allegedly. I don't know. He don't want a money fight. I've been married longer than him. I ain't a simp. I'm the king of my household. And more importantly, I understood Kev better than he ever could, but he wants to sit here and have conversations as though he can relate as a black man. So let's learn who Boyce is before we deep dive into his videos, right? Have you guys seen his proposal video? And this is the part that I prefaced in the beginning when I said that, I'm only going to use her in this video in order to illustrate who he is. I have nothing negative to say about her. Love, congratulations. You picked him. You won the hypergamy race. This man, yeah, that's all I'm going to have to say. But have you guys seen the proposal video? Have you? Just to give you a little bit of insight into who he is, right? You know, the one where he's wearing a fanny pack? And she's getting him in shape and leveling him up. Have you guys seen it? No? Well, let me share it with you, right? Fair use.
Mention is that this is where I met this pretty lady 26 years ago, and we're right there in that cafeteria, and I saw her across a crowded room. Literally, I remember that very moment.
Shout out to that man's fanny pack. Shout out to all men under the age of 70 that wears a fanny pack. I'm going to just say that right now. And not only is it a fanny pack, I guarantee you this was a suggestion from his wife. Hey, honey, we need to wear fanny packs so we can keep our phone, whatever. Listen, shout out to you for your utility belt, sir. You got the Black Panther shirt on, and you got the camouflage fanny pack. Shout out to you. Shout out to the simp moment that we're all about to experience together. Yo, shout out to Sir Shad says she hugs him like a little brother. Cringe. And it's somebody, he got somebody recording this. Look at this feminine man. Oh my Jesus.
And I looked across the room and I said, oh my gosh, that is a pretty lady.
Okay.
And I went and I sat down and talked to her, and she gave me the most radiant, beautiful smile, and her name was Alicia Taylor. And I said, well, and I said, my grandmother's name is Felicia Taylor.
Oh my God. I seen her across the room, and she gave me a radiant smile. And she says, my name is Alicia Taylor. And I said, oh, wow, my grandmother's name is Felicia Taylor. This guy. Yo, if you can't see that this was Friend Zone City coming right now, this is going to be the most phenomenal live stream I've done all week, ladies and gentlemen. You might want to share this with your friends and family. Get the likes up, hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel. It's going to be fun today.
And then you asked me where I was from. I said, I'm from Louisville. You said, oh, I grew up in Louisville, right?
I did grow up.
And because your dad used to teach there. Mm-hmm. And then it turned out we were both Geminis. And
no, you didn't. Just say, honestly, listen. The only thing that I've seen is the part where he's on the floor begging. We gonna get to that part. I did not see all the rest of this context. This is all new to me. I did not know this man was leaning into the idea of horoscopes and Geminis And he was probably burning sage before he went and asked her for her hand in marriage. But let's continue.
And a bunch of other. Oh, and then you, I guess, I said, "Are you from Gary?" He said, "How did you know?" Even though I just guessed Gary because everybody's from Gary, right? And I remember talking to you and how kind you were, how sweet you were, and I also remember when I saw you, how pretty. I think you were walking out. I was like, "Ooh, look at that!" Ooh. And
oh my God! If this is not a man that has never got any real play in his life. We know, listen, there's nothing wrong being a nerd coming up because I know a lot of nerds. And as a matter of fact, I'm an advocate for nerds. I think that nerds are some of the dopest men on earth, but they don't have balance. And so we know that this man is used to getting friend zoned. We know that this man is used to being in a certain space with women. When he goes around women, women are not saying, "Oh my God, I got to get in front of him," or "Oh man, he's so captivating," or "He just controls the room." He's not that guy. He's not that, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a knock on you because everybody got a role to play and there's a hierarchy, but he's not that guy.
Went upstairs to the 4th floor in this building.
We have to go up there.
Yes, and she had a bunch of Starbursts. It wasn't Skittles.
It was Starburst. That's what
yes.
Oh.
And I was thinking, how does she eat all this candy while she's studying the sugar?
This man with this fanny pack and them hairy arms. If this is not the most cringe proposal that I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh man,
has to be like overwhelming. So check this out, man. Check this out, brother. So that night I went home and I wrote in my journal, and I still have these words written down. I wrote, "Today I met the most beautiful woman in the world."
Not the prayer booklet. No, he didn't write this in his prayer booklet. And bro, that was not a journal. That's a diary. All right? We know women write in diaries. That was not a journal. That's a diary, sir. Don't you sit here and try to gaslight us. I know that you wrote in your prayer booklet, "Lord, send me her." I don't even remember her name yet. Who knows? Alicia.
And so here it is 20-some years later, and I still think you're the most beautiful woman in the world. And so I thought that it would be cool to come to this very spot where I first met you. Yes. And get on my knee.
Oh my God. Get up off your knees, sir, with them white. Oh, Jesus. Whoo. This is about to be so cringe. This is the part that I sing.
Oh, boys.
Before I get to that part, let me read some of these super chats. Oh, boys. Ever since Boyce got those new teeth, he's been acting out of pocket. Keith, you are so petty. You are so petty. Derek said it's giving earthy vibes. She gave him that nervous smile like, "Please don't talk to me. Oh my God, he's here. All right. How can I get him to leave?" Oh, Boyce.
And say, "Alicia, Taylor McLaughlin X, I've loved you so much."
This man is crying. He's literally crying. He's crying during his proposal, man. Somebody get what's my man name? What's my man name on Hustle and Flow? Get up off your feet, man. Stop crying, man. Don't be crying. Don't you be crying in the backseat of my car, man. Shout out to my dog. Pocket Watching with JT says Mark Lamont Hill called Boyce a failed academic, a failed TV personality, facts, and a wealth coach that went bankrupt, facts. And I agree. He was jealous of Kevin Samuels. Bro, there could not be, I'm not sure if there was more of a jealous person than Boyce Watkins. You are 1,000% right, Pocket Watching. Terrence Howard says, "Get up off your feet, man, and stop crying to that woman, man." Do Boyce even got some kids of his own? Do Boyce got kids of his own? Because I know that she did, and so he wanted to be a stepdaddy. Let's cook.
Since I first met you, I think you give me life.
This dude got the struggle wiggle in his voice too. Oh my God. This man is above 50 with the struggle wiggle in his cry.
sunshine for me. And nothing has ever touched my soul the way you have.
Oh
And,
my God, this nigga got a
I'd
point.
like to ask if I'd like to go back in time.
Yo,
What I wish.
I never missed a swipe. He did one of these. And listen, the swipe is worse when you a nerd because you gotta lift up your glasses in order to, you gotta do one of these. This dude did the, stop it, Boyce. And don't you get them wiggles in your voice. You man up. Look at her looking at him. She ain't got a tear in sight. Not one tear in sight. We're just setting the foundation before we get into the deep dive of this live stream today.
Back then and say, will you marry me?
Shut up.
Boyce Watkins.
Hold on, I gotta understand this.
Ask if I first met you. I think you give me life. You are sunshine for me. And nothing has ever touched my soul the way you have. And I'd like to ask if I'd like to go back in time and do what I wish I could have did back then and say, will you marry me?
Oh, not go back in time. Not go back in time.
Boyce Watkins.
And I guess and I want to make sure I did it right. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
Boyce.
Yo. So check it out.
Are something.
So I thought that
You are something, Boyce. He said, you are something. Shout out to King of Foods Network. I'ma keep doing the work. She said, Boyce, you are something. Hold on.
Boyce. You are something.
so I thought that the place that I first met you 26 years ago.
Hey, he's still trying to plead his case. He already gave her the ring. He cried for her. He lifted up his glasses in order to wipe his tears. And she said, yo, you something. You are something. Now, in her mind, I have to imagine, she's probably thinking, yo, this is being recorded. This is probably being live streamed. I need to go and talk this over with my mom because I'm not sure if this dude was my first choice. But this dude is in the friend zone. He shot a shot. I gotta give it to him. He shot a shot. Real talk. Oh my God.
Would be the place to do it.
This nigga still pleading his case. Oh my God. Not.
So I think she's supposed to say yes. I hope she said.
Oh, this dude begged for a yes. Now, answer me this question. Would you rather take relationship advice as a man from Kevin Samuels or Boyce Watkins? I'm just saying. This man with this fanny pack on, Kevin Samuels, or this man that just got down on his knees and cried, get up, honey.
Oh my.
Look, she didn't even kiss him. Hey, she gave him the friend hug. Yo, she lifted him up. I never even noticed that. She lifted him up. Get on up, honey. Get on up. Let the Lord have his way. Get on up. He tried to kiss her.
Oh my.
Oh, they got look, their fanny packs are touching though. They fanny packs was touching. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop being petty and I'm gonna get to the thick of things, right? Because I know y'all saying, Anton, you just being so petty. Anton, you are petty. You are Patty LaBelle right now. Shout out to Duty, Honor, and Caffeine. He says, this is hard to watch. Zodiac's Princess Diaries, 22-year crushes. She's crying. Weak men always hating on men that pander to women to get any attention. Then they can't calculate why 22-year friend zoning happens. Shout out to Duty, Honor, and Caffeine. Yo, men need to be men. Get up off your knee. And take her to a real proposal. This is not how a proposal is supposed to go. I agree. Xander with the Z says, she said, you boys, you are something. I need to get that as as a drop. Roy says, bruh, is he going to pull the ring from the fanny pack? No, he already had that in his hand. If you don't think that he already had that in his hand, bro, I'm Twan too says, please tell Homer Simpson to go sit down. He got a lot to say. We're going to get into that part. Shout out to EJ the Gall 702 says, got me crying at work. Looking forward to meeting later. Oh, it's going to be a dope meetup, bro. It's going to be phenomenal. Aaron says, imagine him proposing to her in the cafeteria back in the day, and her jock boyfriend at the time walks up and takes his lunch. And you know that this dude ain't have a strong bone in his body. This man is weak. She drier than a lunch lady pizza. And he ain't even get a kiss when he got up off his feet. Roy Rainbow, fanny packs. Shout out to the fanny packers. I'm about to get me a fanny pack. And in the honor of Boyce, I'm getting me a fanny pack. Machine says, Moise Simpkins was advocating for more childless black men to marry baby mamas. What in the French toast? I thought you get what you are. Honestly, I thought you get what you are. But listen, we're not going to follow in the footsteps of Boyce. We're going to cook him today. I don't believe in kneeling to propose as an African. Oh, I know y'all Africans. Y'all something else. But let's get into Boyce. Let's get into Boyce Watkins, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get into this man because he had a lot to say. And you know what's so funny? Boyce is listening to his live streams, unless he's talking about somebody else, is like watching paint dry. It's genuinely like watching paint dry. But let's get into it because he had a lot to say about Unc, right? The real Unc. He had a lot to say about Kev. So I want to share with you guys what I've been able to observe. And the name of his live stream was, check it out, Kevin Samuel. This is after he died. If this is not in poor taste, I don't know what is. This is after he died. The name of the live stream is Kevin Samuel spoke about black women, but did he date them? Kevin Samuel spoke about black women, but did he date them? We already know where he's going with this, right? First of all, it's in bad taste. Secondly, you wouldn't rock with him and you wouldn't have no conversation with him when he was alive. So now, but you feel more compelled and maybe you feel stronger to be able to have certain conversations after his death. Well, let's talk. I genuinely want to hear what Boyce has to say about Kevin Samuels shortly. Mom ain't even finished burying him yet. Ain't had a memorial, ain't none of that. But you felt compelled to throw your little your fanny pack into the ring to be able to have a conversations as though we cared about what your thoughts was about Kevin Samuels. But let's break it down. We gonna speed it up though because we don't want to spend a whole lot of time. Matter of fact, let me put this on 2 times. Let me put this on at least 175 because he is a little dry.
As you know, there's a big gender war between black men and black women, and it's interesting. I personally think it's attributed to white supremacy, and that they don't want you working together. They don't want you supporting each other.
So he already leaning into Victim Olympics, and he's saying that it's a big gender war between black men and black women, and it's all white supremacy. Oh no, not the white man again. The white man.
Like it when you're divided. They like it when you fight. And here's what I figured out. I was thinking about this, right? And I was thinking about the unfortunate way that Kevin Samuels died. I don't, assuming that all these media reports are true, or what the lady said was true about her only knowing Kevin for one day, and pretty much dying in the arms of a woman who doesn't even know you. That's kind of like dying alone. I've talked about that.
Already threw a shot. We just gonna call it exactly what it is. He already threw a shot. He literally was like, yo, right after he died, listen, guys, listen, I know he wasn't alone, but this is like dying alone. He only known the girl for one day, so let's just call it what it is. He died alone. In bad taste, a man that's an advocate supposedly for the black community, and these are the things that he have to say. Let's continue. We're not going to slow it down.
And I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I did a whole a whole dialogue about it, a whole honest dialogue about it.
We know. We're going to talk about that one
here's
too.
Here's a thought that I just sort of had, and I wanted to share this with everybody who gets it. Some of y'all are going to understand where I'm coming from. Some of you are not. So first of all, let me ask y'all this. How many of y'all are dating or married to a black person right now? Give me a yes in the chat if you are dating or married to a black woman.
I've been married for 18 years. I's been married. I's married now. I's married to a black woman all my adult life. I've been married for 22 years old. all the way up until my 40th birthday, which was April 13th, and I's been married for 18 years. So I think I has the qualifications to be able to have this conversation with Moist Boyce.
Woman or a black man right now. Now, Kevin was married to a black woman, but the lady he died with was not a black woman. The lady he died with was not an African American or a descendant of slaves or whatever you want to call it. I think she was Hispanic. Her name was Hortensia Alcantara. And and the reason this kind of got me thinking is that, I've noticed a trend. And tell me if you've noticed this, but I've noticed.
So he's using Kev's death in order to throw salt on his name and pretend like he's giving you some sort of insight into how it is that you're supposed to move within the black community, especially with regard to relationships. Now, this is a classic I want to be smart, but I'm really stupid, but I was able to pass some tests and I'm book smart, but I'm not able to actually be anything of relevance to the larger community as far as really pouring into them, giving them any resources, any tangible advice as to how they can move a little bit more effectively as far as building wealth within their communities. This is just talk. And he's using Kevin Samuel's name and throwing dirt on it at the same time, even though Kev actually had something good to say about Boyce. This is your leader. This is the people that you call leaders.
Notice the trend that in many cases, the people, the men or the women, this is not just a man thing, I'm talking about women too. A lot of times, people who criticize black people as a dating option, who say black men aren't worth dating or black women are no good, they don't even invest in black men and black women. They don't even take the time to try to heal the black family. They're not trying to create healthy black relationships with black people. They're not in the trenches with the black woman. And
interestingly enough, I've had personal conversations with Kevin Samuels in which he's literally invested his own money, and then he was recruiting other men to invest their own money. We're not even going to talk about the platform. We're not going to talk about what it is that he was advocating for. We're not going to talk about how many people he's actually helped meet their spouse. We're not talking about none of that. We just talking about the fact that Kev put up his own resources and his own money in order to craft a program that would help young men to continue to be successful and then ultimately marry the women by first becoming the best versions of themselves so that their women would then fall under their covering and don't do the reverse like Boyce did with his chick. We're going to continue. We're going to cook this all the way around. And see, this is how you know they don't know what they talking about. They just spewing empty rhetoric in order to try to get people emotional because he has a dying channel.
and I'm not going to talk about this for too long because my wife is here. And,
I know this might. What a surprise. The wife get there and then put the battery in his bag. Put the battery in his fanny pack.
rub some people the wrong way. But I just have to say this, and just be honest with you. Just this point blank period. If you're not invested in the black woman, then keep her name out your motherfucking mouth.
Yo, this is the corniest, simpiest, wackest dude I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, I got to give Jamal Bryant, the preacher, at least a little bit of credit because at least, I'm not even going to have him, this dude. Let me give Jamal Bryant at least a little bit of credit because at least Jamal got a little bit of smoothness in him because you got to have some smoothness in him to be a preacher. He don't even cuss like he's supposed to be cussing. He the dude that curse that mama, he ain't never been raised to curse before, but he's saying it because his wife is now in the background, and so he feel empowered, so he gonna say some nasty stuff in order to try to, and if you're not investing in black women, then keep her name out your motherfucking mouth. You corny simp crying on the floor, and she didn't even want to kiss you when you got up. Man, if you don't get your... Man, I can go so hard on this dude. We got jokes for days on Boyce Watkins. Ain't even supposed... Then keep her name out your motherfucking mouth. Really? This y'all leader? Is this y'all guy? Let's play it one more time. Because again, he felt compelled to be able to say this stuff when his chick is around and putting that battery in his fanny pack, but he didn't have nothing to say whatsoever. Not one thing to Kev to his face.
You know, and I know this might rub some people the wrong way, but I just have to say this, you know, and just be honest with you. Just this point blank period. If you're not invested in the black woman, then keep her name out your motherfucking mouth. Seriously, you know, and I'm really just saying. I'm saying if you're
And
not invested,
you can hear her in the background. Ooh, get him, girl, Boyce. Ooh, let me go. Get him, girl. She in the background putting the battery in it. He trying to prove his manliness. I hate dudes like this, honestly. This is the type of dude. Let me tell y'all what type of dude this is. Let me get to some of these super chats, and I'm gonna tell y'all what type of dude. That is not his wife. That woman is his god. Music Man says, "Keep my fanny pack out your mouth." Shout out to Joe. I appreciate you, Joe. Says Moist Simpkins. Thank you for the super chat. Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Aces says, "I was late, but I didn't see her show any emotions until the ring came out, and even then, it was you are something." Majid says he titled that video like a sassy baby mama, and only got 11,000 views on it. Corny. First time in hearing y'all are cooking Chef Boyce D. Simpkins canned meatballs for lunch. Oh, it's gonna get worse. We just getting started. We just getting warmed up. This is the warm-up show. We gonna get to the real meat and potatoes very, very shortly. Kwame Brown may be making a show to give him some mama's cooking. Boys have baby mama trauma. Moist. We gonna call him Moist from now on. AD, you should check out Minister Jap. He bodied Boyce a few months ago because of KS. He's going to finish cooking Vivica Fox later today. I've never seen Minister Jap stuff, but I'm gonna have to check him out because y'all telling me that he dope and that he cooked him. So I'm gonna have to check that out. Shout out to Minister Jap. Here's $5 for the Boyce Barbecue. Long time coming. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for continuing to support. We gonna get into it, yo. Let me tell you what type of dude this is. Honestly. And this is real talk. Real talk. This is the type of dude that Boyce Watkins is. Boyce Watkins is the guy that's your girl's best friend and you feel safe leaving your girl around him. Real talk. Boyce Watkins is the guy. You know how you tell your girl, nah, you can't, like, you know, girls, guys and girls, like, you shouldn't have your girl, shouldn't have no male friends and nothing like that because, you know what I'm saying, I'm supposed to be your man, I'm your covering or whatever, so on and so forth. I'd feel 1,000% comfortable. 1,000% comfortable. Thank you, Christopher J. Boyce is a cornball, gives me peasant behavior. Boyce is the guy he's the guy that I feel so comfortable leaving my girl around. I know he has no attractive qualities. He's not going to be the guy that I'm worried about my girl going over and doing something with. Listen, I would be, if my girl was ever like, yeah, Boyce is the, like, I thought about it or whatever, I would be like, and it's not because he's a man of great character, as we can see right now, honestly. It's not because he's a man of great character. It's because nobody is worried about leaving a girl around Boyce. That's A, right? But B, the reason, the thing that guys don't realize when they lead their girls around a guy like Boyce is he over there throwing salt in the game the whole time. And he don't just throw salt in the game like, yeah, you know, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, y'all should be able to, you know what I'm saying, get along or whatever. He the guy that's like, yo, you know you can do better. You can do way better than him. I mean, there's men that'll love you and all 8 of your kids. That's what he'll say. You ain't got to deal with that. Listen, it doesn't matter that he works 45, 40, 60, 70 hours a week. Listen, did he respect your greatness? Did he respect your blackness as a black woman? Did he herald you? And if he did not give you 9 flowers for the 9 years that you guys have been together just because. This is the type of dude, I'm telling you, I know these dudes. I see them. They hang out at your girl's locker knowing they have no chance of getting any pussy whatsoever. At all. So they work their whole life hoping to become a better version of themselves 30 years later, and then they gonna pray that girl breaks up with her man in order to really come over there and be with you. And not only that, he's going to try to poison your kids against you in order to be the best father that he can be, because we need to invest in the black woman and the black community. I'm telling you, this is the type of man that he is. Shout out to Roy. Boyce will blend in with the woman conversation and salt you up at the same time. Facts. I'm telling you, I know who this dude is. This is the type of snake and slime ball that we dealing with. And he think just because he throw doctor in the front of his name and he wrote a book and he tried to capitalize off of the black community instead of actually pouring into it, he think that that gives him some reason to be able to have a conversation about a man in his passing. And y'all rocking with this? Listen, if you rocking with this, let me know right now, because that says more about you than it does about him. Shout out to Black Engine says, Moise is literally a leftover man. He married a woman who friend zoned him 20 years ago and came back to him with another man's children. And now he's saying he's investing in a black woman. Well, what's the return on that investment, Moise? I'm curious to have that debate with you also. Moise is a sugar daddy who gets no sugar. Couldn't even get a kiss on his proposal. But let's continue.
In the black woman, then keep the black woman's name out your mouth. Now, I'm not talking about
And then he
Kevin. None of
doubled
that.
down.
This is not about him. I told y'all some things I like, some things I didn't like. I've done a whole breakdown. I spent a whole hour breaking it down the other day.
It's not about him, but he titled the whole video, Kevin Samuels spoke about black women. It's not about Kevin, but I just need to say this. You gaslighting bitch of a man. We don't rock with you. We don't support you. We don't hold you down. Eventually, all of these people who profess themselves to be leaders and think that they can speak with they fanny packs on, we don't rock with you. Shout out to Samuel Adams, says, keep up the great work, Anton. Oh, we gonna cook. We gonna cook today.
But I really believe that we are in a battle. We are in a fight. We are in the fight of our lives. In the 1980s, the CIA dumped billions of dollars of crack cocaine into the black community.
How is this
Pay
relevant to
attention now. I need y'all
Kevin
to listen. I'm
Samuels?
talking to the grown-ups in the room. I'm talking to the pro-black people in the room.
How is this
I'm talking to people that
relevant
got
to
sense.
Kevin
If you don't agree with
Samuels?
it, then please go, because you're not welcome to this conversation. And when they did that, you had a lot of side effects. You had mothers getting hooked on crack. You had folk out in Beverly Hills. They weren't locking up the college students who were showing up looking for the local dope man. And today, half these dudes ain't even got a daddy to even know what a man looks like. They weren't even raised by a man because they exterminated you like roaches. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, we don't
So here's
understand
where
what
we
you're
get
saying,
to
boys.
2022. So we get to 2022, and here's what occurred. The Economist magazine did a very deep article. A bunch of white people in England wrote an article where they looked at the dating and mating patterns of African Americans in America. Y'all hear me? Give me a guess if you're following what I'm saying. This is, it's the Economist magazine. I am an economist. My PhD is in finance, so I read the Economist because I like high-level economics. This is all related to economic theory, believe it or not. They did an analysis, and what they found was that in the African American community, they said that there is a significant imbalance between the numbers of marriage-eligible black women and the number of marriage-eligible black men.
Now, I wonder if he's going to give context to this article, because I'm very familiar with this article also, but let's see how he deep dives into it, and then I'm going to break it down for you to help you to understand what it's really saying.
They connected it directly to Joe Biden's mass incarceration in the 1990s, which was driven by the crack cocaine epidemic when they dumped all that coke into your community. This is why I hate record labels that market rappers that convince young black people to use drugs. I hate it. I hate it. Everything Kendrick Lamar was rapping about in that new song he put out, which was brilliant, by the way, was all about how messed up your community is, how they
Come on,
dismantled and
fam.
destroyed
Make
an
it happen.
AK-47 on your way to the 8th grade. There is a direct correlation between the percentage of black men who are incarcerated and the percentage. That was the first thing they said. Pay attention now. I need y'all to listen. Number two, they said that the imbalance in the ecosystem of black men versus black women, it changes the behavior of the men and the women. They said that the women become more desperate to get a man, so they start doing things to grab a man. They'll drop their drawers. They'll get on Instagram and show ass. They'll do all kinds of degrading things, like or maybe calling Kevin Samuels show and be told that this.
Which is all false. Which is all false. They're not doing it to get a man. And this is how, listen, this man takes his advice from the Economist magazine. I'm gonna break it down for you for real. I'm gonna help you to understand, because how can you get a simp like him to understand the mating patterns behind women? He don't have the results. He don't understand women. He never got them before, and that's why he was in the position that he was in to take care of one, and she didn't even give him a kiss when he proposed. So let me help you to understand what women are really operating like and why they're acting like it. Is because they have men like you This is the honest to God truth. They have men like you validating their behavior all throughout their life and not holding them accountable like Kev do or Kev did, right? Because his videos still live on, so it's not like he went anywhere. Content still live on. They have men like you validating their behavior, and then they think that they're equal to you because they have people like you operating in your household that say happy wife, happy life instead of operating as the king that you're supposed to be. So what happens is it has nothing to do with them trying to do anything that they can to drop their drawers in order to get a man to marry them. As a matter of fact, they're not even looking at marriage when they're young, which is one of the things that Kevin Samuels was advocating for on his platform. Marry before you carry. He said it all the time. Why don't you get back with the man that you had kids with? He said it all the time. But what you have is that the family court has empowered women, and feminism and advocating on the behalf of equal rights has empowered women, and then people like you in your behavior and in your rhetoric have empowered women to feel like they on the same level as men, so there is no gender role. So then when they start to hit a certain age and they hit that wall and the reality start kicking in, then they start to straighten up. But instead of you telling the truth so that we can get better results, because you don't even know what the truth is. And so I forgive you. We forgive you, Boyce. We forgive you. But we don't forgive you because you feel empowered to say certain things. We don't forgive you for speaking negatively on a dead man's name. We forgive you for speaking out of ignorance because you don't know no fucking better because you a simp. So you think that you know what you're talking about, but in reality, you don't know nothing because you don't know the nature of women. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been sitting on your knees crying, doing this on your glasses, and then she give you a kiss on the cheek like you a little pet. They did a study. On what? This ain't no math equation. This ain't no stock. If you don't know what women think like, if you don't know how to operate around women, then you can't truly understand the context behind why women are doing the things that they're doing. And so as a result, you validate the behavior instead of advocating against the thing that's actually destroying the communities, and you pick up after them. It's your dumb ass. And this is the reason why your OGs is failing you, because just because they old don't mean that they know what they talking about. Stop taking advice from these old geezers that don't know what they're talking about. Everybody ain't qualified to have a conversation. Listen, this man just got married, and then he gonna sit there and have a conversation about Kevin Samuels? He just got married. He just figured it out. He just got married, and he got lucky by the skin of his chinny chin chin that he was halfway successful so that a woman would settle for him after she already did what she wanted to do. And you gonna take your advice from him? From this nigga? And listen, I don't really say the word nigga. You gonna take it from this nigga? This one right here? Boyce. You taking it from him? You taking it from him? That's who you taking your advice from? This dude that wear a fanny pack? Jesus Christ. I don't know whether to read super chats to take a commercial break up in this bitch. Because this dude don't know nothing about nothing. At all. And then gonna sit here and tell y'all fellas, because listen, I'm gonna tell you once and I'm gonna tell you again. Men are the state of the community. You've never seen any community that's led by women that are the hierarchy that wins across the board. Any strong society is based off of how strong the men are. So we don't need your simp behavior and your dirt throwing on a real man that actually tried to do something to change the narrative behind what it is that we have going on in society. We don't need that. We don't need your simp behavior, bro. Preston, shout out to Preston. Says, damn, Boyce, didn't think you was a hater. Sad man. Oh, he a hater. But he an undercover hater. He not an overt hater. He's an undercover hater. Shout out to 313 Ways to Succeed. Kendrick's The Heart part 5 is basically saying that black culture is trash. Dr. Watkins is a super simp. Shout out to Too Tall. Appreciate the 20 ball, big dog. This dude has no insight and understanding, and that's why in the Bible it specifically says, in everything you do, get understanding. Because if you just spouting stuff that you read without being able to give the context as to how they got there or be able to challenge it effectively, that means that you have no understanding, sir. You just spouting stuff that they taught you. Listen, let me teach y'all a lesson really quickly. Let me teach y'all a lesson. You know why they say it's a difference between being book smart and street smart? Do you know why they say it's a difference between being book smart and street smart? It's because most people and most teachers and most professors, they teach it, but they've never done it. How many businesses has he built? How many businesses has he started? Right? What kind of stock plays has he made? You know, one thing that I read in Rich Dad, Poor Dad way long ago, back when I was working in the library, he says you got to mind your business, meaning that if it's good enough for you to recommend it, you also should be able to show the results as a result of you doing it. And the interesting thing about it, shout out to Renzel, he says Boyce was actually there to wipe the nuts off her face at the end of her journey. Y'all are mean. Y'all are mean. But think about it, though. Think about it. There's people that go to school to be a teacher. Now, what does that mean? You're being taught by somebody else that's teaching you, that wrote a book on how it is that you're supposed to teach other people to be a teacher. Shout out to Voice of Reason. Says, I've heard of this man until, I've never heard of this man until FKS passing. Oh, you ain't missing nothing, bro. And so what happens is those that can't teach, they don't have any practical information. They're just spouting off to you what he read in a magazine. What does that mean? That's like somebody teaching you how to do math. And one of the reasons why a lot of young guys say, man, I don't care about calculus. I don't care about geometry. I don't care about this and that. I don't know, because they don't understand how they're going to practically apply it in their real life. They don't know that they're going to have to balance books and starting a business, and the importance of being able to calculate certain things when you do software engineering, and being able to look at the pixels on the screen and then be able to reduce that down to a certain screen width when you're looking at it on your mobile device, and how that's going to translate. They don't understand the practicality of it, and so they don't want to listen to you because you don't have the understanding. Listen, when I talk, I'm a C student, but I'm a mastermind when it comes to this. Because I can break things down to a C student's level. So you got this PhD, him, having these conversations about a dead man, already got bad character. Strike number one. Don't understand how to practically apply information, which is one of the reasons why he's never had success in business. Strike number two. That feel compelled to give you relationship advice on top of economics and don't know how to meld the two. Strike number three. And more importantly, he'll evade people like me because he know we will chop him down in every single way in a debate. I am a community college graduate, and I will wash him all day long in any kind of conversation. Economics, money, relationships, being a good person, or the black community. Because if you can spout out a bunch of information that you read, but you don't know how to apply it, and you don't have the understanding to be able to mine through the information to draw your own conclusion instead of just rewriting what it is that you're regurgitating, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. Which is why you don't understand women. Because they told you that boys like girls and girls like boys. Let me write a note. Yes or no, do you want to rock with me? But they never told you that she was going to friend zone your ass for the next 22 years and then come back to you, which is one of the reasons why you feel like you compelled to really be able to have conversations on relationships and talk negatively about men that's dead. It's one of the reasons why you can read a magazine, read a book, read an article, but then you don't truly understand the context by which they're having this conversation, because how can you truly evaluate what woman nature is based off of a study? You know what a study is? We're going to come back. Don't worry about it. We just getting started. We're going to have a conversation today, ladies and gentlemen.
That you're too fat and you're leftovers and you blah blah blah, whatever the hell. Like they're desperate. Some of them are desperate because they're trying. They think it's their fault, and they said that the men, well, the men, we got all the pickings. Like it's easy for us. Like it's I mean, I'm not.
Because it is their fault. And you can't advocate for equal without taking equal responsibility for your actions. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You get what you attract. You get what you earn. You are what you attract. You are the sum total of the people that you spend the majority of your time around. We don't absolve people from responsibility. That's what simps do.
Like I say, easy, but I told you guys I've made six figures for about the last 20 years of my life, and it has never been hard for me to find somebody to marry if I wanted to find somebody. I could have got married in a week if I wanted to. It was all
Capadonna. So you telling me, because listen, I look at the results. I look at people's behavior in order to be able to substantiate my argument. Are you telling me, Moist, that you could have married anybody you wanted to, but you waited for 22 years for a woman that friend zoned you in order to make sure that you took care of her kids by another man?
always easy, but that is not the experience of the black woman in America. And the reason I'm bringing this point up is because you have to have a certain level of discipline and commitment to even care about anything that I just shared. Some people ain't gonna get it. I know people gonna be trolling and oh, you need to
Oh,
stop
you
talking
got that
about this.
part
You need to
right.
leave this alone. Well, you need to leave intelligent conversations alone. How about that?
No,
How about you just stop?
because you ain't intelligent enough to be able to have this conversation with real men. See, he gonna jump on a panel with a bunch of women and he gonna substantiate his argument with a bunch of females. But I dare him to step in the arena with real men, not to fight, not to scrap, not to do none of that. Let's talk money. Let's talk relationships. Let's talk civil discourse. He ain't built like that. He ain't never been built like that. And he the one that was whispering in your girl's ear, girl, you don't need him. And even after she left him, she still wasn't fucking with you, bro. You always been a simp. I can tell. I can tell by your demeanor, your character, the way you operate, and what your results are.
Stop trying to have intelligent conversations because you're clearly not smart enough to even get half of what we're talking about here. Grown folks are talking. Black leaders are talking. All y'all in here that are listening and that are understanding.
Hey, you know what's so funny? What do we call this? What did Kev say with this that this was? Sign language. Sign language. Whenever you not making sense or whenever people don't rock with you or they not feeling what you saying, you start saying that people ain't intelligent enough to be able to get what it is that you saying. No, we get it. We just know that you talking out of your ass and you don't know nothing. It's called sign language, which was one of the reasons why he was jealous at Kev, because Kev had it. He had it. He had all of the ingredients that Boyce Watkins didn't have. He had harder work ethic. The ladies loved the way he dressed. He didn't wear a fanny pack. As a matter of fact, Kevin Samuels advocated against looking the way that Boyce Watkins looked. This man is always looking like a bag of powdered donuts, ashy, ungroomed. This man is the opposite of Kevin Samuels, which is one of the reasons why he's the hater and jealous. So what he should have did if he's been making six figures for the last 20 years, which really ain't that much money. If you want to really put it in perspective, let's say he makes $100,000 because on one video he said specifically that he was making $115,000 a year. Let's say, for example, you make $100,000 a year and you make $100,000 a year over the next 20 years. Now, listen, I'm a C student and I'm community college, but that's $2 million a year. However, if you do the math and you really understand how it is that single men are operating, that means that after taxes, if you live in any major city, then that costs you about that's really $67,000 after taxes. $67,000 after taxes. So you telling me that Kev did more in 2.5 years than you did in your entire adult career? Shout out to Christopher J, bro. Grown folk, black leaders, Boyce Watkins. Oh, I find it funny that this man and others like him never called Kevin's smoke shows, but they can't seem to shut up now that he's gone, but I digress. But see, they didn't know. They didn't know that I was just sleeping. I was relaxing. I was doing my money talks. We was building with the bag chaser. Shout out to my Patreon members. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We was building. We was doing our meetups, right? We got a meetup going on tomorrow in Las Vegas. I was flying back and forth. I was talking money talk. I was pouring into the people. They didn't know that as soon as I got too pissed off that I was going to awaken, and now they got this monster that woke up, because not only do I got the marriage, not only do I got the money, not only do I got the character, but I got the ability to talk. I can talk shop with these dudes because they think that they better than everybody else when in reality they ain't never did nothing for nobody else. Now they got the monster on them. Now they got the monster. Surprise. I'm here.
Saying what I'm saying, that I care about the community. You are the leadership. Stop listening to the children. You got some 45, 50-year-old children out here on the internet with big platforms that are further in the dismantling of your
Sign language.
They are liabilities. And so what I'm saying to you is this. Here's what I'm saying.
Sign language.
If you really are pro-black, let me ask you a question. How many of y'all consider yourselves to be pro-black? Give me a yes in the chat if you consider yourself to be pro-black. Well, if you consider yourself to be pro-black, then you have to be pro-black family. You have to be. Because a community cannot survive without its families.
And I wonder what Kev was, considering that that's the thing that he advocated. And the majority of this conversation was always about women meeting expectations and making sure that they align themselves with men that they qualify for, not the men that they wanted. That's the very definition of being pro family. I hate this dude.
You can't build wealth without family. You can't raise healthy children without family. You can't survive without family. You can't exist without family.
Shout out to Landon.
Number
Go
two,
watch the reaction
if you're gonna be
video
pro-black
of Kevin
family,
Samuels.
you got to be pro-black.
The bag
woman.
he was making.
You got to be pro-black.
I know the bag he was making.
Now, the thing about being pro-black woman means that you must be willing to invest in the struggles of the black woman.
No.
The thing about being pro-black man is
no. That is not what it means. It does not mean that you're supposed to invest in the struggles of the black woman. That is not what it means. Jesus Christ. Somebody get these simps up out of here. Yo, simps. The problem with the world today, I'm going to be honest with you. The problem with the world today in 2022. Well, it's not an issue, but it's still a problem because it's almost like the internet, right? The internet wasn't created so that we can go and say some of the most egregious things that we've ever seen in our entire life. It wasn't created for trolls. It was created so that we can transfer information faster. However, with good always comes bad. It's the yin and the yang of life. And that's the thing with modern society, is that we've civilized the world to an extent in 2022 in America to the point to where we got Boyce, Simp, Watkins, Moist Watkins, feeling compelled to give you information and he don't know nothing. He don't know nothing that he talking about. And so as a result, they spew this nonsense and this empty rhetoric as though they have a voice, because anybody can pick up a microphone, but very few people actually have the understanding to be able to have these conversations, right? So he'll say something to you like, yeah, you're supposed to invest in the struggles of the black woman. But I'm going to just tell you, people like him would not have survived yesteryear. They wouldn't. They would have been somebody's boy toy. They would have been a court gesture. They would have been locked up in a room counting beans and lentils for the kings and people like us that's supposed to lead and take over, but we've lost our way. We've civilized it and we've made it available for everybody because we said one person can vote and your vote is as equal to mine, and men are equal to women, and there is no hierarchy and there's no gender roles, and people can do what it is that they want to do. So now you feel compelled to say this dumb stuff that's actually hurting your community more than it's helping, which is one of the reasons why we say that everybody should not participate in a conversation. And just because you got a degree don't make you smart. Just because you got a degree don't make you wise. And just because you got a degree don't make you desirable. And so as a result, he feels compelled to have this conversation with y'all as though his voice matters. Listen, if you ask me, I honestly believe that this man is a plant. Let me read some of these super chats. Coach Keith says Moise has a history of clashing with alpha level males and praising women with masculine energy. He clearly jealous of KS impact on the culture. Agreed. Duty, honor, caffeine. He knows nothing. My bro chat talks stocks and crypto, and he knows nothing about either. We talk about masculinity, he knows nothing. We talk about practitioners versus theory, black women as theorists, nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Shout out to Von Freeze, my dog, says, let's go talk. Yo, talk, bro. I'm here for it. Shout out to my dog, Von Freeze. He would be nothing. The only reason that he exists is because strong men of yesteryear that are not a reflection of him has civilized the world. And that's why we say that, yo, just because you got a voice don't mean that you should be participating in the conversation. So I'm going to say the same thing that he says about people that aren't intelligent enough to understand what he's saying. I'm going to say that, yo, if you don't have the wisdom and the understanding to really be able to decipher the information and be able to have this conversation, why don't you bow out? You done, bro. You yesteryear. You nothing. You but a vapor. Because the real is always going to rise to the top. So you may get a little bit of success, and we want you to be able to feed your step family. We want you to be able to do so. But you're not built for this, bro. This ain't your fight. Take that blackety black power talk that ain't actually doing nothing for nobody and take that junk to 1960. So Malcolm X can mush you in the face and get you up out of the way and say, hey, man, you in the way, bro. Take that junk down the street, bro. We don't want to hear that hate and rhetoric. Disguise that simp behavior. You finally got a platform, so now you feel compelled to be able to support black women. If you're not investing in a black woman's struggles, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. Shout out to Von Freeze, man.
You got to really give a damn about what black men are going through. You know, and being pro-black woman means that you have to take the time to understand the amount of pain that exists within our communities and have some degree of support for these women that really are trying their best to do the right.
Yo, I got a question, y'all. Where have y'all ever seen try in the Bible? I'm just curious. When have y'all ever seen try anywhere? Because the difference between men and women, and I thought we lived in an equal society right now, right? Is that men have no safety net. We win or we lose. We sink or we swim. We rock out or we just completely fall off. Where's the sympathy for men? Where's the acknowledgement of our struggles? Because I don't believe that he's ever really been through anything, because if he did, he wouldn't be talking the way that he talked. Self-engineering says, is this the same guy that got mad at people for holding him accountable when he got suckered by Charles Wu? He has no credibility. Ain't Charles Wu the Asian investor that he was using Boyce Watkins as a face of his real company that Charles Wu built, that he never built himself? Shout out to M. Mills. M. Mills says, I'm tired of all these sorry mugs coming for Kevin Samuels after his death. Why didn't they do that when he was alive? Because they were scared. Running scared. Keep that same energy that you had when he was alive and you was up under your rock crawling around that you do when he died. Don't feel compelled to do it now, because it's going to be 10 times worse. I
Thing. They're
promise
really
you.
trying to figure it all out. You know, I mean, I talk to guys and I say, okay, rather than smacking a woman upside the head because she doesn't quite understand what a man is looking for or how to find the right man or connect to the right man, that may not be the right approach. I said, imagine if you grew up without a mother and you knew nothing about women because you never had a mama, and people made fun of you because women looked at you like.
But that's because we lean on our fathers. I can tell that this man was raised by his mother. I can tell that this man was raised by his mother. He's a mama's boy. He's a mama's boy. Clearly.
Like you were a clown because you didn't know the first thing about how women think, how women operate, what to do to make a woman happy. Would that be right for somebody to tell you that you're stupid and you're going to die alone and that you're an idiot?
That's what men deal with every day. That's why we don't have a safety net. They say men are, I say it. I specifically say it out of my own mouth. I say men are supposed to suffer. That's exactly what we go through. Men are supposed to suffer because that's the determination of whether or not we're going to be the men that we're supposed to be every single day. The things that I went through is the reason why I turned out the way that I turned out. That's what men go through every day. This ain't new for us. This is what we deal with. Sink or swim. What do you mean imagine if you had to do it? That's what we live from the day I was born until the day that I'm going to go in my grave. It's either sink or swim. What you talking about? Who you explaining this to? Shout out to Femi, man, or Femi. Anton, I'm just hopping on. Did you address Logic low-key sneak dissing KS last night? Nah, I didn't. I got a lot of people that I want to get to. I don't think that Logic was sneak dissing KS. I think Logic was giving his honest opinion about what he assessed from it. Do I agree with it? No, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and review it. Right now, we dealing with Simp Watkins, right?
No, maybe the right thing to do would be to work with you, to show you things in a loving way, to strengthen your confidence, help you figure things out. You know, and I really think that there are some people that are really trying to figure things out. And this is something I figured out. We're all trying to figure it out. I figured this out literally 15 minutes ago. That's what led me to do this conversation. I wasn't even planning on doing a podcast, but I said, man, I want to, this epiphany hit me. The deal is this.
Cap. The minute that Kevin Samuels died, you was gearing up and you was grabbing your microphone and you was making sure that you was getting your YouTube channel ready and together, and you made sure you made this spicy podcast called Kevin Samuels Spoke About Black Women, but did he date them? That's exactly what you do. You was not trying to do things. I didn't even know. I just had this weird epiphany right after Kevin Samuels died. You lying fucking simp. Cap. Shout out to Duty Honor Caffeine. Boyce had a black daughter, young 19-ish, abandoned her and went to school for 20 years, worked on himself by himself, and is now lecturing men. Really? Oh, really? And the boy and my boy E Black TV. Oh, really? We're going to have to research that. We're going to have to research that.
Black people in the black family is in the middle of a big pile of shit. We are in the middle of an intense 50-plus year effort to commit genocide against our community. Like, we're in the middle of the genocide. And so, to me, if you're pro-black, you're in the trenches with the black family, which means that you must be in the trenches with the black woman. And I'll be goddamn if some motherfucker, anybody, male or female, is gonna come.
This dude, stop cussing, man. You don't even sound right cussing. You see how I said, I ain't say cursing. Stop cussing. Stop cussing. You don't even sound right doing it, bro. And I'd be goddamn.
Come along with your white wife or your Latino husband and tell me what's wrong with black men or black women. You don't have the right. You don't have the right to critique black women if you ain't got a good black woman right next to you. You just don't. You just don't.
So I got a question. So considering that Boyce is breaking down exactly what being black, pro-black is, right? Do we disqualify people because they're mixed? Just curious. Do you disqualify black because they're mixed? Because we all mutts, if you really want to get down to it. Or how about what percentage of black do you need to have in you in order to be able to be a part of the pro-black movement? I'm just curious. Just wondering. Is it? What about the people that were a part of the civil rights movement that weren't black, that put their own well-being on the line and didn't have to in order to ensure that the message was being heard at the time? Did that count? No? Because I don't know. I'm not part of the blackety black movement. I don't know anything about it. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But I'm just asking a question because I like people to substantiate their arguments. Is it? Is that part of it? Shout out to Rory. I appreciate you. I feel your anger, Anton. This man is a fraud. Who has Boyce helped? K has helped people every day. Boyce is using Kevin's name to get on, but proving Kevin's point, yes, Boyce has a child he left hanging. Really? I'm gonna have to start doing some deep diving. Y'all, this is your fault. All of this is y'all. Y'all keep sending me these videos of all of these simps. I'm not subscribed to Boyce Watkins. I don't care nothing about. Listen, Boyce's videos have never popped up on my feed. Y'all, this is all y'all. I'm putting this at the feet of y'all. Chris Sally says people like Boyce despise the fact that there are levels to everything. High value concept really bothers people. I heard Boyce say that he was a high value man. He's been a high value man for a long time. What y'all think about that? Y'all think that Boyce is a high value man?
I'm saying, let me just be honest with you. Let me just tell you too. Give me a yes or no if you can, if you can understand when I say this, that sometimes black women can be a little crazy. Give me a yes if it's okay if I say that, if you understand where I'm coming from. And give me a yes if you understand that black men, we can be a little messed up. Like we got a lot of issues to work through. And here's the thing. When you look at people that have the right to criticize you, the people that have the right to criticize you are the people who truly, genuinely love you. Not the people that criticize you out of contempt are very different from the people who criticize you out of love, who say, look, we're in this together. I'm in this with you. I'm loyal to you. I will never.
I wonder if you criticizing Kevin Samuels out of contempt or love, especially after his passing. Are you criticizing the man that was the polar opposite of you and got better results and won in life as a matter of contempt, or is it out of love? Interesting. Shout out to It's All a Mindset. It says Kevin was very pro-black. He invested his money, time, and resources. Facts. He also married and had a child with a black woman. Facts. His daughter is graduating from college, so KS did something right. Facts. KS is the man Boyce wish he was. Mm, mm, mm. Let's finish this.
Abandon you, but I really need you to hear what I'm saying because there's some stuff in here that has to be fixed. So if I'm a black man and I have something to say about the black woman, I'm gonna just tell you like this. If I was sitting married next to Becky or Alexandria Contanista or some Greek lady or some Asian lady or some Latina lady, and I'm sitting here getting on the internet talking about this is what's wrong with black women, this is what black women need to do, black women need to stop doing this, stop doing it. No, I would look like that would not be appropriate. Let me just say that.
I guarantee you, he is doing this for his wife that is sitting right there. And listen, if you need to simp in order to continue to keep your chick, then do that, bro. But please don't speak for black men, and you are not the spokesperson for all guys.
Not be appropriate.
I promise you.
And the same thing is true on the other side. When I hear black women complain about black
Somebody
men,
said, when did he do this video?
Went to war with a black man. You ain't stood by the black man. You went
He
off
did
and married
this video on March 10th, or I'm sorry, May 10th. Right there. May 10th, 2022 is when he did the video. Shortly after, right after Kev died, he cammed up and he said, all right, let's go in on Kevin Samuels and try to ride the wave.
Prince Harry or some shit. You need to keep the black man's name out of your mouth because you're not in the battle with us. The only people that have the right, in my view, and I'm only saying this because this hit me when I was thinking about, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know some people are gonna be upset about it, and they're gonna, maybe not take it in the proper context because I have very complex feelings about everything that Kevin Samuels did before he passed. I did not want this man to die. I did not want this man to suffer. I did not dislike everything this man said. That is not true.
Lies, all lies. Lie one, lie two, lie three. Three strikes you out. Lie, lie, lie. That's probably the thing that you prayed for. You and your wife was holding hands in a prayer circle talking about God said where two or three is gathered, there I am in the midst of thee. You was praying fervently. Maybe not specifically for his death, but I'm sure y'all was out there having a praise circle in your living room with all of your kids, happy that Kev was no longer around to be able to wax you all day long. And see, Kev ain't as petty as I am. He was never as petty as I am. Kev stayed above it because Kev was focused on what it was that he was trying to accomplish and solve. I got time. I'm petty. Patty LaBelle specifically. Right? AB says, dude is a cornball. I find what Moise is doing extremely distasteful. Holla at you on the 27th time. Yeah, blessings, bro. Shout out to you, big dog. Appreciate you. Christopher J says, Boyce is mad because he's the failed version of KS. He not even remotely in KS's category. I don't even think that, bro, that is an insult. Shout out to you, Christopher J. Sink or swim, bro. You hit it on the head, homie. In our circle, we call this dude Boyce Watkins. Me too. You seen the cover of the photo. LOL. You are a real one for showing love to Flint. Shout out to my Flintstones, yo. I appreciate y'all. What up, Flint? I'm always in Flint. You know, Flint ain't but a hop, skip, and a jump away from where I be at. So I'm going to be back in the city. I might do a meetup in Flint. I love Flint, bro. And shout out to the people up in Davison, too. Bill here, stay on their neck, bro. Jim Bill here, stay on their neck. I'm here, bro. I'm here. We got all the smoke. We gonna continue. Let's continue with this simp. You know what? Honestly, I might do a part 2 about him tomorrow because let me tell you who else is on my radar. Let me tell you who else is on my radar before we continue this. I heard Derek Jackson is back. I heard Derek Jackson said, you know what? I got to give y'all my thoughts on Kevin Samuels. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry, Derek. Eyes coming for you, Derek. Eyes coming for Derek Jackson. Eyes coming for you. I see you still in the gym doing your protein shakes, still giving bad advice to women, still simping out, still being the polar opposite of the thing that you're supposed to be. I wonder if, listen, y'all tell Derek Jackson's girl, you know I don't come for the women. Y'all tell Derek Jackson's girl, because I remember she did that video about her prayer helmet. She did her video about that prayer helmet. I was coming to talk to you, Derek Jackson. So listen, I got some people on the list. I got a list. I'm checking it twice. You've been naughty. But I might do a part 2 of Boyce Watkins because he had a lot to say in a whole nother video. Don't worry, we coming. They say, please keep riding, King KS. Shout out to Cap God 89. I's coming, Derek. But first, I got somebody else that I want to deal with.
Some things I heard and I said, okay, some of this makes a little bit of sense. But at the end of the day, what matters to me is, where are you really planting your feet? Where are you investing your resources? Where are you investing your life? And if you're sitting next to a non-Black woman, but trying to correct Black women at the same time, I think that is a conversation that is beyond your pay grade. The only Black men who have any right, in my view, to critique Black women are the ones who are invested in a Black woman on a day-to-day basis.
He said that's below your pay grade. Listen, Boyce has written books, done speeches, been on the Breakfast Club. He's done all of that. And this dude does not want a money fight. Listen, my challenge is still out there, Boyce. We can do a live stream together. We can do show your account, show your net worth, show how you have yourself diversified, show your crypto wallets, show all of that. Put up 100,000. We donate it to the charity of whoever the winner is. I'm not donating mine to the charity. I'm gonna donate mine to my bag chasers because I'm gonna put them on and I'm gonna divide it up amongst them and give them all businesses. Make sure that you subscribe to the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Yo, Indigo Gaming Squad says Boyce Watkins is a snake who has robbed former Black workers under him. Has an Asian boss. Damon Dash ain't gonna like that. And scams people on his courses. You know, I've never sold a course before. I don't think that courses is bad, but I wonder what his course is really about. Maybe I'll purchase one. Yet he has the audacity to say he's pro-Black. Laughing myself. Boyce is a fraud. Interesting. I've never had his course, so I haven't reviewed it. Boyce never stood on business. Any man that flip-flops like that can't be trusted. And Jackson ain't worth mentioning. Oh, he worth mentioning. I's coming for Derek. Eyes coming for Derek.
Are you invested in a Black family on a day-to-day basis? Are you raising Black daughters on a day-to-day basis? I'm doing all three of that. My whole family's Black. My wife is Black. My children are Black. I got Black daughters. So when I come in,
I wonder if he's what percentage of Black that his chick is. Because if anybody down in her lineage had a white husband or a white wife, that means that would disqualify her, correct? Based off of his criteria that he said earlier? No?
and I'm talking about Black women, I'm never going to come from a place of contempt because I got women all around me that I'm in the battle with.
I got a daughter. I got a Black wife. I got a mother that I take care of. I got Black women all around me and in my bag chasers and my Patreon, and they know Anton got they back because I hold them accountable. Where his feet stand. What about KS's 20-year-old Black daughter? Anton, listen, as any of my bag chasing ladies. Shout out to Beautiful Disaster. Shout out to Azriel. You see him? You see him right there. They right there. They said, y'all better join the bag chasers. My ladies form around me like the Dora Myalgia, whatever, them chicks in Wakanda. And you know why they love me? Let me tell you something. You know why my ladies love me while all of my... And listen, I'm going to just tell you, I got an army of women. Black, white, Asian. They in Idaho. They in Atlanta. They in California. They in Miami. They in Houston. They in New York. They all over the country. You know why my ladies love me? You know why my ladies love me? Hmm? Shout out to Coach Keith. Coach Keith says Moise got married at 50 to a divorced and fertile baby mama. Does that sound like a blueprint for black men? You know why my ladies love me? I'm gonna tell you why my ladies love me. And not only do they love me, they adore me. My ladies adore me. Let me switch this up. Man, fuck what Boyce is talking about. We off that. I don't even want to talk about him no more. Oh, shout out to Queen. You know why Queen J love me in Chicago? You know why my Chicago ladies love me? Huh? You know why? Because I push them. I hold them accountable. I pour into them. And then I tell them, I say, yo, give me the results. What you doing? Listen, my ladies love me. My wife love my ladies that love me. I'm going to say that to you one more time. My wife love my ladies that love me. She right there. She laying in the bed. She right there laying in the bed. My ladies adore me because I push them and I hold them accountable and I get them results. And I don't get them results by telling them things that they want to hear. I get them results by telling them the thing that they need to hear in order to be the best versions of themselves for the things that they want in life. Y'all gonna keep listening to the simp? Y'all gonna keep listening to the simp? Boyce Watkins? Let me show you who your king is. That's your king. That's your guy. Every day that y'all don't divest yourselves from the people that are the worst for us is how you're going to get the results. Real talk. Shout out to He Calls Me Friend. Says, just wanted to say I've always been disqualified for being mixed, bro. And how often the mirror do vids. Also tell her she gotta do the etiquette class. Y'all got a choice to make. That's really what it comes down to. Y'all got a choice to make. You do. Y'all still rocking with Moise? He pointing at her, I'm pointing at her too. Because apparently she's the leader of the household. Y'all still rocking with Moise? She's the leader of the household. So maybe I should come to her for advice on exactly how things are supposed to go in Boyce's life. Hey, Alicia. Alicia, I have nothing bad to say about you, baby girl. Hey, Alicia. Hey, you make the decision on whether or not y'all want to lose $100,000 as a couple and do this money fight for charity. Charity of your choice, Alicia. Alicia, I respect you as the head of your household. I praise you as the black woman and the queen of the Watkins household. I'm curious. I'm just curious. Did he take your last name or did you take his last name? Or did y'all go with the ultimate sign of disrespect in that you wanted to validate him, so you took his last name, but you made sure yours was still on there hyphenated? I'm so petty. Hey, Alicia, I think you dope, honestly. I have nothing bad to say about you. You won, babe. Shout out to Marsden. GVM says, Anton, so glad you're giving these knucklehead haters all the smoke. Bravo. I appreciate you too, big dog. Shout out to Duty Honor Caffeine says, my daughter and I have had quite a few hurdles to overcome in our relationship. Like many fathers and daughters, there were divides, misunderstandings, and much of the ugly drama that occurs. Boyce, that's him. He left her. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm. Yo, listen. Salute to the head of your household. Head of household, file on the taxes, married filing jointly. And I wonder, when y'all file y'all 1040s, because I know the tax season was just up. When y'all file y'all 1040s, who's the one that's at the top? Is it her, then him? Is it Alicia, then Boyce? Married filing jointly? Maybe she do a married filing separately? I don't know. Let me stop being petty. Listen, shout out to my bag chasers. Get this simp motherfucker off my screen. Shout out to all of my bag chasers, yo. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I appreciate y'all. I rock with y'all. I think that y'all are absolutely awesome. Align yourself with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. I appreciate all of the cash apps, all of the super chats, and everybody that support the platform. We got work to do, ladies and gentlemen, and we not done. I'm coming for you. I will be there. Shout out to Moise. This is not the end of this conversation. Matter of fact, let me rewind that. Shout out to Alicia. Thank you, love, for taking care of your black household and the black community. I wish Kevin was still here. However, his death has awakened men to speak out against BS like Boyce and KS, has people not accepting simps. Simps. The Godfather's message is cosmic now. It won't be stopped now. Don't stop, Anton. I ain't never stopping. Shout out to my girl, Beautiful Disaster. She says, yes, it's better on this side. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm if you haven't already. Subscribe to this and the other channel. Link to Fight Club is tonight. We getting it popping. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me read a couple of more of these super chats. Mulligan's World says, I'm glad I unsubscribed to him. He is sending us backwards. Hope others see his true intentions. It's all selfish. Carrot Juice Podcast says, Kevin was all about improving our image, developing ourselves intellectually and socially to ultimately get better outcomes. The best way to keep his spirit alive is to keep moving forward and to trust the process. Thank you, Carrot Juice Podcast. I appreciate you. You've been rocking with me for an extended period of time. I love you. I appreciate you. Listen, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, to everybody that's watching here on YouTube, Facebook, and all these platforms. We got work to do, family. And it does not stop here. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Fight Club is tonight. That link is in the description. I love y'all. But I need y'all to do me one more thing before we get up out of here. One more thing. One more. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be rich by ourselves. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a safe and happy Friday and weekend. We doing Fight Club tonight. Join us. I'm going to holler at y'all later. I love you. Peace.